Hello everybody, thank you for watching the video or listening to us again. This is Los in Prague again, and we are with two guests today. They are from Spain. They live here in Prague, and they were some weeks in very far from here, from Prague. They were in China, so we want to share a little bit their points of view. So they are Alma Parias and Rafa Muñoz. Hello.
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 Tell us a little bit how you arrived to this beautiful city called Prague.
So, it all happened almost 5 years ago. We were at that time living together in Paris, and we were finishing our master's studies, and then I found some job offer that was appealing to me, and they told me that they couldn't hire me in France and I had to move to some country, neither in France nor in Spain. So they gave me a list and I chose Prague because I thought it was like a nice city, a good place to settle.
And what do you do as a job here in Prague?
So I work in IT. I work as in data analytics, machine learning, like as an engineer, software engineer.
And you, Alma?
So I end up in Prague because he ended up in Prague, so I just followed.
Okay.
I was like,
why you follow him?
As he said, like we finished just the master, so there was this big opportunity of where we wanted to live. So there was like a lot of different countries that we could consider. So as he was the one that found the job first, we just decided to move here, and I was okay with it. So that's the reality behind it, but it's funnier when you just say I followed. And I am a data scientist. I was unemployed for some time, and I will start a new job next week.
And what about the new job?
Data science.
Okay, good. So why did you decide to go to such a far away and this long trip to China? What was the decision that you say, well, let's go there?
So it came all because we are part of alumni association from our master. In particular, I am part of the board that runs there are like elections every 2 years, and people from the board are in charge of organizing several events and keep the community together. So there is a big part of this alumni group that is from China. Like there's a big Chinese community from students from China that did this. It's like a European program from the European Institute of Innovation and Technology.
So they come from China to study here their masters?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like 2 years program, and it's mainly targeted towards European, but anyone can apply around the world. And there's like a lot of Chinese, and there's this. Then they formed this big Chinese community, and one of the events they wanted to organize as part of this alumni association was some sort of exchange trip, like tech cultural exchange trip, where people from Europe or alumni from Europe will go to China and experience how is the technology development there, and how is in general the business and innovation culture in China.
That was the reason why we went to China, because they created this event, and the event was going to last 10 days. So then we decided that if we were going to be in China anyway, it would be a good idea to go more time, not only the 10 days, because it's so far away that it's better if you can enjoy your time more. So we decided to prolong the trip. So we went before the event started, and we went to some cities. So we went...
And how long is the trip from here to there?
It was 10 hours? 10 hours, I think, by plane. We did direct flight Prague to Beijing, and then we flight Beijing to Chengdu, which that flight was 2 hours and a half. And then we used train to move around China. So then when we came back, we went from Shanghai to Beijing, which was 2 hours, and then Beijing, Prague directly again.
Okay. China is known also because it's one of the biggest world's largest emitter of carbon dioxide. So when you arrived to China, did you saw this kind of like very like polluted cities, like dirty places? Because when you say like in the media that they have like the most emissions of carbon, you can imagine something like this, you know. They are just followed by the USA. That I think is China is like around 30% of the world emissions, and after that is like, I don't know, USA with 12%. So it's a lot of margin. But if you compare with the historical one, the picture changed a little bit. Like the Americans are in the first position, and they are like almost the double of the Chinese. But how was the experience in terms of that? Like, how was the environment there?
So when we arrived, there is a lot of agriculture. You can even see it from the plane. They have like a lot of rural areas still, and they use it just to do agriculture, which you can see when you are going by train because you go through all of these rural areas. And then from the pollution on the cities itself, because we were in big cities too, there is more pollution than here, I would say. But based also on what we got to know from other people, it's not as bad as it was before. So China has a big percentage of electric cars, and in cities like Shanghai, for example, they are really encouraging the citizens to buy more electric cars. So for example, in Shanghai, if you buy the electric car, the license plate will be free. Mm-hmm. But if you buy an diesel or petrol, I think it's called, any of the other normal cars, you will need to pay quite a lot. So that is something they are doing in bigger cities to encourage to not have so much pollution. And you can, I think, see a difference if you've been there before from people that also said it. And even when we were there, there was days where it said that the air quality was not good, and you could still feel it, like it feels worse than here. But I think it was not as bad. Like we didn't need to wear masks so much. People in the street were not wearing masks as much. And I think before it had like more of this image that people in China were always wearing masks because the quality was really bad.
It was mainly the particles in the air, no, that we checked on the phone, and it says it was like several times over the what is considered normal or healthy. But I think the other levels like carbon dioxide and the other metrics were fine. It was mainly, I think, in Chengdu the first few days, maybe the first day, second day, that it was probably we were not used to it, and we felt a little bit like the air was too dense sometimes to breathe, but it was just I don't know, like feeling we didn't have any.
And that is because that
symptoms.
city is like near to more industrial area in China, or?
I don't know if more industrial area, but it is in the Sichuan region and it is outside of the range of mountains. So I think it also is based on the geography of the city itself, because I know, for example, in Italy, it happens also like there is one of the most polluted areas in Europe because you have like all of these range of mountains around, so the air cannot enter to get out of the pollution. Yeah. And I think Chengdu may have something similar because it has like mountains around. So I think it was also not raining before, I think, for some days. So it was still a lot of like particles in the air.
Yeah, because sometimes you hear here in Europe that some people say, well, why we have to take care of the environment if the Chinese doesn't do it, you know? But when you visit there, do you see that they care about the environment, or they really don't care at all, you know?
So, for example, something that is known from a lot of countries in Asia is they use a lot of plastic. Yeah. So it is true, they do. We've also been in Korea and they also do use a lot of plastic. But for example, in China, I was checking some numbers, and because they acknowledged they had a problem with plastic, they created a big recycling plant. And in 2021, they did 30% of recycled plastic. And if you compare it with European percentage in 2021, it was 40%. So it's only 10% less. So it's not as big of a difference, and maybe it's sometimes portrayed. And then if you went to some maybe it's because we were in more touristic spots. I cannot say it's the same everywhere in China. But if you go to some places that you have like nature around, there was always people trying to clean, like taking care of the plants were being watered, like they were like cut in the proper way, that things on the gardens areas were clean itself. They were like picking up trash. So I think they care about the environment on maybe more how it looks. I don't really know, but they had people hired to take care of these
But you
things.
don't see any sign that say like take care of like the nature or something like this? No, nothing that give you some kind of sense that they care about like the environment, or it's in their common sense that it's not just for
I think
keep
they
the place clean. Yeah.
I think they have. The thing is, like, a lot of the signs they have, it's only in Chinese.
Yeah.
So there is as much as you can translate all the time. So we were not translating every sign.
Yeah.
But I think they have, if I remember correctly, in all of the hotels they had also like, please be mindful of the water. Don't use too much water when you are watering your hands. Also from the toilet paper they had, because not every public toilet have public toilet paper. But the ones that they had a sign also, like, be mindful of the environment, don't take much toilet paper. So, like, they were...
Yeah, true. Sometimes you even had to scan a QR code to get toilet paper.
Okay.
Which is a little bit counter, like, surprising for us, no? And also, there were, like, a lot of, for example, like, the trash cans outside, you have, like, always, or many cities, like, plastic and then rest of waste. Then also like what Alma was saying before about the electric cars, that they are really investing in reducing the use of petrol in cars, probably also to just because they want to enhance the air quality. But yeah, I think in general they didn't feel as like very different from here. Like maybe if you go to more industrial areas, I mean, we were not like visiting like some industry, and we don't know how it's the process, but we see like this. The thing that you can see is this heavily use of plastic for packaging, but that's also that's the same in other Asian countries. And it's something that, I think at some point, it's also a little bit surprising for us, because we have been in Europe, investing so much in reducing plastic, using other ways like paper, other materials that can be more easily
degradable,
or like recycle.
And
then you go there and you see that they are like completely opposite. But well, maybe it's something that will change in the future, similar to the cars. And also it's true that they are recycling. They have a big
but do you think it's a good pretext, like say like let's abandon the Green Deal because this make us not competitive, and better is like just abandon it because the Chinese don't care about that, you think it's good decision to do that?
No. Not at all. Similarly in the US, when you compare also the statistics and you see like how the US, it's heavily polluting in this sense, like carbon dioxide or similar. I think we still need to. I mean, it's not an excuse to not to do it. No? Like we have to do as much as we can, and then if these other countries don't, then it's something that we cannot control.
The other thing that I was wondering is this high level of public approval that they have the government in China. They have around like 90% and sometimes even more of like public support to the government, which is like impressed to me, because if you compare, for example, with Czech Republic, in the end of the government of Fiala, he has like less than 30% or around 30% of like public approval, which was one of more historical less support of government in the history of Czech Republic. The current government is around 50%, but has the 90% of approval is a lot, So why do you think that this happened? Why the Chinese can be that optimistic about their government?
So Chinese people can perceive, you can perceive that they have good life standards. For example, the retirement age is quite low. They can retire around 61? Yeah. 61 for men and 55 for women. Mm-hmm. And you can see it when you are just walking through the cities. You can see like a lot of old people. They have also these activities on the parks where the men usually go more to Tai Chi. They are free. They just meet and they just do some Tai Chi in the parks. Women, then they have like dancing classes, kind of. They just like meet together every day to dance. And you can see like...
This is very shocking because we have the idea that they work all the time,
Yeah, like we were also shocked on that part, because when we were in Korea, for example, and we were going in the public transport, you could see people sleeping in the public transport every time we took it. Like it was not a specific time. Every time we took it, there was someone that was just sleeping there because they were like so tired from the day that they just needed to sleep. We never saw that in China in the public transport. And for me, that was something I was expecting to see, because that, like, we have this known that they work so much, they must never be on the street. They just need to be always in the office. And
one average European is going to tell you, well, it's prohibited to do that. For
that
reason, you didn't see nothing here.
But then you're there, and after work, so like 6, 7, you see like all of these families with the children going around, people for dinner, so many people walking, and it's really kind of like feeling when we are in Spain, because we have like this culture also of just going out, having something with your friends, going for dinner with your family, going to the park and enjoying the weather, and that felt really common.
Yeah, because it was popular, this say that it was 996, like work from the 9 of the morning until the 9 of the night, and during the 6 days during the week. So they had like a strong culture of work, and it's surprised that this is changing right now,
Yeah, I think yeah, of course, there is like people, like very hardworking people in China. I think it's part of their culture as well, similar in Japan or in Korea. They perceive that they need to work, they need to provide, and they need to make money. But at the same time, they have many things, all these things like Alma was mentioning, that they don't need to care that much about. Like they have affordable housing, public transport, food. They also have this very good life for the elderly people, and this is something that even like when we were there and we were with some Chinese, they were bragging about this, like they were saying, yeah, here in China, elderly people have a very good life because they retire early, they do exercise, they don't need to be worried about or be concerned about their economical situation because they have like a high pensions. So this is something that I think make them perceive that the country is doing well and the government is providing for them. Mm-hmm. But of course there is still like, especially some sectors, like some industries, there is still like this culture of trying to being like super competitive and trying to be the best.
Yeah, just to give us one idea, I was like checking some data today also, and they informed that they remove from the poverty like 800 millions of people. That is a lot of people, in just 40 years. Is more than the population of the entire Europe and USA together. So United Nations recognize that like some kind of like achievement, not just like from the achievement of one country, of one government, but the achievement of like the humanity, you know, themselves, that we are achieve that, you know. But I also wanted to ask you if this is also the result of like Chinese propaganda, or did you see like a lot of like propaganda in the streets, or even this idea that the internet is some way like full of propaganda or blocked, you know, and is impenetrable, and they live in some way of like a bubble, you know. How did you feel that when you were visiting that place?
So I will take it regarding the internet. It is true that they have their own ecosystem, so they have their own apps they use for paying, they use for buying the tickets, from buying the hotels. They have their own WhatsApp or Telegram, which is WeChat, and even on WeChat you can use it also like a social platform, kind of like Instagram, where you do stories, or you can even like commercial purposes, like some companies can have their own channel and they can give you discounts, and when you go to the restaurants you can use it to order the menu to then pay. Like they have their own complete ecosystem that it's for Chinese people. So even if you go to China and you are using their apps, I don't think you will get the same type of feed as they will do. So I don't think we can properly comment on if it is like completely closed or not, because there is no way that we could experience the internet from Chinese perspective itself. But you can also get like a VPN and maybe connect to the outside. We were able to be in China with an eSIM. I don't really know how easy will it be for a Chinese person living in China to get an eSIM, but I would imagine it's not impossible. And we could access all of the Chinese apps, platforms, and also all of the Western apps and platforms. Like we use both of them easily on the mobile phone.
Yeah, I think it's true that it's, if you are living in China, it might be hard to have these restrictions. You need these VPNs or other systems. I was doing some research, and it seems like before, like not all of them are working very well. Like sometimes they might work, they may not. But I think even if you want to do, like, it's not impossible, and it's not like super hard. Like just with some research, I think people would be able to bypass this great firewall. But it's more like, as Alma was saying, in the end.
But what do you think about they have one firewall? Because not all the countries have that, but they have it. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it just makes the things harder, of course. But I was thinking that anyway, I think once they become to open more to the world, it won't be, and looking how the vast information that you can find in the internet now, and how the algorithms are controlling what we see and what we find, I think in the end it won't matter, because as Alma was saying, we are also like drowning in our own propaganda. Like it changed a lot, the platform you see, the country where you live, the media that you check. We can access there, like, I don't know, like other media from other let's say political views or more independent, but no one does it, you know. If you think about the genocide in Gaza, there are many people like here in Czech Republic or other countries in Europe that are not aware of what's happening, and it's not because there is a great firewall. It's just they don't get it in their feeds. They don't. It's not posted in the newspapers they are checking, no. And they are not. They could just go and find, okay, what they are saying about this in other countries, or what are they saying in this other media. But no one, or almost no one, does it, and they don't need to put a firewall. That's what I mean.
Yeah, but this the Chinese government developed this idea of like internet sovereignty, so that I don't know, because we expect before that if we concentrate most of the information and, like, for example, WeChat, you say that is one application that can connect like a lot of data of one single person, that if it's in the hands of some kind of like authoritarian government or not liberal government as in Europe, that could be like risky for the population, you know. But in the end, you can see also the Chinese has like more social media and internet regulations that we have here in the West, you know. And in the West, we depend a lot of like the decisions of the techno bros or the elite of the CEOs who own the social media that we consume, you know. But how is the social media there? You know, how is the internet in China? Well, you were some weeks there, but maybe you open the applications to Survivor there. How it works there? Which is such different, or is like the same that we are using, you know?
So what we've noticed is there is so much more advertisement. Like when you open the app, you get bombarded with like so much information everywhere. It's the same when you're in the street. You have like all of this stimuli, all of this lighting, all of this noise, and it translates to the apps itself. You have like so many ways to do things. Here, I think it's more common to just have like one app when used. There, I think they try to make people have maybe less apps, but each app can do so much more. So they have, for example, Alipay, that they actually updated while we were in China. And in Alipay, you use it for payments, which works incredibly nice. Everyone use Alipay. Like, I don't think people use cash almost at all. And even I think old people, just you go with your mobile phone, either the establishment will scan your QR code or you will scan the QR code from the establishment and then you will pay with that. And then on that same app, you can buy flights, you can buy train tickets, you can use it for the public transport. And I know it's one of the latest questions, but even the public transport you will have on the same app for the full country in different cities is the same thing. Here, for example, if you go to Europe, you have one app for every city. Even in the same country, you need to download different apps, and every public transport works differently. So they really try to make it very convenient for the people to just use the apps itself, not even for social media, but with other purposes. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it is also a way to make people to use social media more, because if you are on the mobile phone all the time, then you are probably consuming more things. But it is true that everything works with the mobile phone. You need to have battery on your mobile phone, because if you don't have it, probably you are lost. You order taxis from the mobile phone, you pay from the mobile phone, public transport is on the mobile phone. Like some restaurants you need to order via the mobile phone. You cannot go to the waiter and tell them what you want. You need to have your mobile phone and order with it. So if you don't have a mobile phone, you may be quite lost.
Okay. So this makes that all the data, well, I don't know, of course, how the data is handled, no, but think that you have these super apps where you do everything there, like all these like social media, paying, trips, everything that Alma was saying. So imagine like the amount of data you have from one person just with one app. Like you can get to know pretty much everything about this person. Also, like because it was just in the end like these same apps that you were seeing everywhere. Also like TikTok, to do things like related to entertainment. It was also like you could see like the QR everywhere, and from there you would check photos or download videos or see like information about the place. And it's quite interesting because it's like it's a completely different paradigm compared to the one that we have in the West, where we have like more like minimalistic
but we have with our social media, we have the idea that not promote like controls, you know, like let it completely free, because that is like the freedom is equal democracy and free of speech and something like that. But in terms if you compare, for example, with the Czech government, they have like regulations against the pornography. They have regulations against like not promotion of the video games in the children's, like also limitation of social media to the minors. So in many terms, they are like having some kind of experience in control this environment that you are describing, more than we were trying. Like we are like just let it be, to.
Yeah, and it's something that I think quite problematic now, because if we want to, like, we as users have some control on what we see in the social media, like in our social media, like YouTube or Instagram or Twitter. We don't have a tool to do that. Like we cannot understand, we cannot ask why we are being shown certain content. No. And in the end, we are just being controlled by what these companies want. And there is no way to, or right now at least, there is no easy way for the public institutions to regulate that.
I think also a problem from not controlling it, you have all these fake news or people that are able to say whatever, and then a lot of the time it doesn't matter if something is true, it just matters how many people you can reach. So not having control may also not be as good as people may think, because you may end up with like these very popular streamers or Instagram known people.
No, we are not that popular.
That they can say whatever they want, and because they have a lot of followers, then it will be like
they
true.
are super influential, and sometimes they are just talking nonsense, about things they don't know, and they have like a big group of people that will just replicate what they say, even if it's
but that was like even like some way controllable, you have like some people who say like bullshit or like literally like lying in the media, but it's different now when you have the AI, and then you cannot even distinguish the reality of the fake, And for example, with AI, they are starting also with some kind of regulations to limit the use of it, But here in the West, we are not even trying,
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if it was in China or which other country that was trying to impose bans or even fines to some of these streamer influencers that were talking about medical things, without having like a proper certification. Like
it's China. Yeah,
So,
for example, if you have one channel of like medical advice, you have to have some kind of degree.
Yes,
it was that, yeah.
But you cannot just start a stream or like we are doing here and start talking about, I don't know, vaccines or
Exactly.
Or disease, which makes sense, like from the public interest.
Or for example, that law that limited the development of AI to put workers in the streets, is like amazing idea that even we cannot even imagine here, like limited the development the AI in the companies to don't fire people, for example. So, but another thing that I was checking when I was like reading, for example, articles, especially in Czech Republic, is that all the time the media refer to the government of China as like the regime, because the regime is like the description to point or to make a stress in the lack of democracy, And when you were there, you like notice like suffocated or like super control. Like you notice that the people have scared to the government, or you saw a lot of like police officers or militaries in the streets. How was the experience in that way?
Well, I would say like we couldn't feel any of this. Like even I was trying to talk about like more political focused discussions with some people like from there, like from China, and they were like open to talk. Like, okay, maybe we didn't touch like very sensitive topics, but still. And I don't think, I don't know, of course, like we couldn't talk too much with people in the street, right? Because we have this language barrier. But it's true that in many places there were like very high security levels. So that's something that it might be also why people, I guess, then tend to say that everything in China is so restrictive and there is so much control, no?
Like for example, every time you go to any train or metro station, you will have a security check, like same as when you go to the airport, kind of. So you will need to take out your backpack or your suitcase and put it through the X-rays machine, and then you will need to go through the arc. And if you have like bottle of water, they will check if it is open. They will probably scan it and try to see if there are like some chemical components or something.
Yeah.
But based on what I've seen from videos of people from China, I don't think they feel that it's controlling them. They feel actually that it is something secure, because if you are in a shopping mall, if you're in a train station, if you're in a metro station, they needed to check this. So people that are entering, it's safe to be there. So in a way, it's here anyone can go to the metro. Like you don't even need to actually pass your QR code or your ticket to enter. You are supposed to do that, but if you don't want to do that because there is not like a physical barrier, you can just enter to the metro anyway. There you actually need to pass this security, then you need to go through the barrier and pay your ticket. And there is so many people, not really police, but people that are the security from the metro, that they are around, that I don't think anyone will try to enter without paying, because they will see you. So it feels like a very safe place to be. And I think it's also the same in the streets. Like you can see people going around, everyone is minding their own business. No one is really checking like, oh, do I have my purse this way? Oh, I have my backpack. Or no, everyone is like very comfortable. You can see children around. Same here in Prague. Actually, Prague is quite a safe city.
Yeah, it is.
So you can also see like children riding the tram, children riding the metro alone. And it felt the same in China. So I don't think the perspective that we have of having so much police, so much security, so many cameras around, it means for them the same as it will mean for us. Like they are like cutting your freedom, but it translates more on a security point of view. Also, there you openly are told you are being recorded everywhere. Everyone knows you have cameras. But I think if you go to other places, you also have that. Sometimes they are hidden, sometimes they are sneaky, sometimes they only have the advertisement, like the warning that you are being recorded, or in very specific places that you can actually not see it. But there, everyone knows. So I don't really know how much more you are being recorded in China than maybe in other places.
And we were in several cities and we were always able to walk freely, and we were never stopped. We were just going wherever we wanted.
Yeah. There was even one time that we were exiting the metro quite late at night. And part of the square was closed, so we needed to go through kind of like a barricade from policemen. No one even told us anything. Like they saw that we wanted to go that way, and they were like, yeah. They didn't even stop us. Didn't even ask. They were like, yes, sure, you can pass through this. And they were like, physical barrier, but we just went through the physical barrier, and they were completely okay with that. So it doesn't feel as constrained as it may be seen from outside.
It's often that for Europeans, for example, when they are in the third countries, like the police officers like ask for money or something like this. You have some kind of experience with the police officers in China?
No, we didn't have any encounter.
And did you have the opportunity during these days or before to learn or know how it works, like the democracy or the political participation in that country?
Well, we were part of the trip. We were with some Chinese friend.
Yeah.
So he was telling us
You're touching their face, like super bad, you know?
No, he was, I mean, it's hard to know when he's like just joking, you know, or like kidding or saying truth.
Okay.
But he was just saying that, okay, like they have these sort of elections, but they just... They cannot really select anyone. No? It's more like for approval of the candidate.
Mm-hmm. But you have different candidates and you can choose, or how it works?
Well, according to him, there is only one that you
Yeah.
can vote for. Otherwise, like more like you either vote for him or for her, or you don't.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if it is like true or not. It was like. But I think in general, there is not much participation in this sense from the people. I'm not sure if there is like if you want to be more involved in the I think you can, like, if you are more involved, like there are like some sort of at least in local governments that I remember, I think they were saying that there were like possibilities of like voting some, I don't know, like local policies or changes in the public spaces, things like this. But I don't really know much.
Okay. And here in Czech Republic also, when they talk about China, they focus a lot of like in the issue Taiwan and China. Even like, I don't know, the nationalist parties are like more in the point that we don't have to have any issue with China, so we don't advocate too much for Taiwan. And the liberals are like more in the point of view that we should involve with Taiwan because of like common values and principles, And in the end, it's because they have like technology of chips, and also they are like sellers of a lot of guns. But they put this kind of thing of pragmatic and values, and they are like playing in some way with the both sides, but how is the perspective of like one common Chinese about how they see the issue with Taiwan, or how they see the people from Taiwan? Did you have the opportunity? I don't know. Maybe you didn't have the opportunity to talk about that also.
Not really. That's why we are like looking at each other.
Yeah. No, it's funny because.
Or maybe you have a lot scared to ask about that with them. You don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's fun. It's true that I think here in Czech Republic, at least from what I know from people Czechs, that when I told them about China, they were always reacting with this question, like about Taiwan, and they seem like concerned that about this China and Taiwan tension compared to, I think, other countries. It wouldn't raise these concerns. It's also funny that Czech Republic is one of the few, or Czech citizens is one of the few citizens in Europe that cannot go, that require a visa to go to China. Like for us, we have Spanish passport. We didn't have to request a visa to stay for 30 days, but only Czechs and Lithuanians have to in the European Union.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think this is also quite, I don't know if it's related with this, you said, like relations with Taiwan.
I'm not sure, but I will not be surprised, that is because of that.
And I also know, like, here in Czech Republic, I met several people from Taiwan, or I know people that went to Taiwan to study, do an exchange, or people who have like Taiwanese friends, but not so many Chinese. So I guess it's not a coincidence. About the question, we didn't ask. I think it was like quite sensitive topic.
Yeah.
But now that you said, probably if I would have had the chance, I would have done it. I know, I think from what I know, but again, it's for like Taiwanese people here, is they have, I think, good relation. Like they it's not like they are enemies. They are like they can be friends with the Chinese, but they said that Chinese perceive Taiwan as China as well. So it's not more like they are. They do believe that Taiwan is part of China, even if it's not.
Well, actually, Taiwan also believes that China in turn is also them, Actually, the beginning of the conflict, when they present to the United Nations saying that they are the real China, So also Taiwan pretend to say like all the China or the real China. Well, now it's a little bit changing because some parties in Taiwan like proposing this like independence, but in the beginning the issue were like who is the real representative of that country, you know, or the party in Taiwan or the party in the continental China, you know, if you want to say.
Yeah, I think I know also from this friend here that the way that China is trying to attract people from Taiwan is giving them like better conditions. Like for example, I think they pay lower taxes if they want to work in China, people from Taiwan, or in general they have like good benefits. So that's how they are trying to attract like especially young people or like workers to move from Taiwan to China, no? Which is like when I heard this, I was quite. It sounded quite funny to me. That it's more like they are trying to attract them, no more like because when you see the media, it feels like you are just gonna invade them with like a military.
Yeah, this is the idea in general we have here in the West because maybe our experience, you know, we have to invade like troops there, but
like
maybe the idea is different there
and ships,
but actually it's like and it's something that is nothing hidden, it's not like any conspiracy idea, it's part of their plan, like the government plan, the integration of the island into the government, into the country, you know. So
I think
silence of 2 minutes, you know.
As you said, I think it's something that Chinese also I think have accepted, like at some like Taiwan is part of China and they will be one country at some point. I don't know if it's that one only one. I have only a few people that could tell me this, but that's what I got from Taiwanese as well.
Yeah, in general, the Czechs like feel a lot of like empathy with Taiwan because they see like David and Goliath, you know, and they say, but they are the David, so we have to be with them, you know. But sometimes we have to see also the gray zones. Anyway, something that the Czech people like really likes about the China right now is this technology advance, you know, which is quite surprising, you know, because in general we tend to see like new technologies developed in the West, you know, in the center, but now appears like also some kind of advance in other parts of the globe, you know. Did you saw something like super interesting in this travel? Did you see, because you are like from this area of like science and technology, maybe you saw something that you really find interesting in science development?
One of the things that was very surprising to us was what I already commented about the public transport, like having one app nationwide, every city. You literally just change the city. You have a drop down, you change the city, and then you just will get a new generated QR code that you scan at the entry of the metro, at the entry of the bus, and then you will pay with that in so many different cities. You used to travel around Europe, not even outside Europe, like literally only in Europe. You go from one city to another city. Some cities have an app, other cities doesn't have an app. We even encountered some cities only work in Android, it doesn't work in Apple, and you have like all of these complications for something that should be really easy to use, which is public transport. And therefore that was like mind-blowing in a way that this could actually happen and work in different places. I understand like it would be very difficult to do it in Europe, in not nationwide, but like Europe-wide.
Yeah.
But like maybe country by country, that would make people use public transport more, because it will be like much easier to know what to do, and you will already have an app.
And did you have opportunity to travel in these trains? Like
yeah, that was the normal public transport. It was like the normal metro, and we use it in Chengdu, we use it in Chongqing, we use it in Shanghai, we use it in Nanjing. All of them, we use the same app.
But we also were traveling one of these high-speed trains.
Yeah, that was the next thing I was going to say. They have like very good quality high-speed trains, same as Japan. Japan is known for it, but I don't think China is known for having good high-speed trains, and they were always on time. You just got in, you had like very good leg space, and it was going 350 kilometers per hour at maximum speed at some point.
We cover 1,300 kilometers in 7 hours.
Yeah.
Pretty much. By car, it would have been like 13 hours.
And it
was like 7.
It was a very smooth ride because, for example, in Spain, when you get into a high-speed train and it goes very high speed, you can feel it moving a lot and you can hear it, and it's sometimes like a little bit annoying.
Yeah.
Here it was like very smooth, like it was not moving much. The noise was like you could hear far more the people around it than the train itself, and you could go to the bathroom. It was very easy. Sometimes when you are going high speed, it's quite uncomfortable because you move, and then when you are moving around the train itself, you kick yourself with other people. It was very, very nice. And when you got inside the train before getting to the platform, you needed to go through the boarding process, same as you do here with the airport when you take a flight.
And how the people interact with you there? Because for sure when you went there, it was obvious that you were foreigners,
yes,
or at least tourists, you know? How the people treat you there?
Very nicely. Everyone was very welcoming. Everyone was happy to speak to you.
You feel like in Prague?
Yeah.
Like in Europe.
But everyone was really open to just like try to communicate with you with the translation app, because almost no one spoke English. So that was a big problem. Even in hotels, like you arrive to the hotel, maybe it's being European, you're used for people to speak English in the hotels, in the reception.
Yeah.
That was common to just arrive to reception, and they didn't speak English, so you needed to translate with the apps. Even, for example, another use of WeChat is you have like a translation in real time. So like they can write you in Chinese and you will translate it, and then you will reply in English and they will translate it to Chinese. So some hotels will tell you to scan the QR code and add them on WeChat so you could communicate easier.
Okay.
And others, they just
that is the reason why they don't speak English, you know.
Yeah, they even had like some device that they were just speaking to them, and as they were speaking, you had like the translation into English too.
Yeah.
Although this had also like these very funny moments or very bad translation where you needed to have like a very open mind to try to understand what they were saying. But even in the restaurants, everyone was like happy to give you food. Also happy that you are like not going to Western chains.
But they treat you
food.
well, like in good way, like you are welcome, or in terms to take advantage of you, like to cheat you, you know?
No.
To sell you things,
No.
you know?
Welcoming.
Yeah, I think everyone there is like very helpful, you know. They try to like in the business, like in the stores or in the restaurants, they really feel that it's their duty to be to make you feel comfortable and well, like feed if you are in a restaurant, or buy or find what you want if you are in a store. So they are really trying to help, even if you don't speak the language, or if you don't know what you want. So yeah, I think that was quite a big difference with how it's in Europe, for example, or in other countries.
Yeah, because like here, I feel that it's more like be independent and deal with your things, and be competent doing your things. Sometimes even here, when I try to give the seat to someone elderly, they tell me, no, it's not necessary. And
it was very funny, at least for me, that when you entered the metro and there was like a lot of people waiting outside and the metro doors open, it looked like the Hunger Games. People were like running to get a seat.
Yeah.
And that was like really shocking, but funny in a way. And it's literally everyone was like happy to see us there. It was not like no feeling of like trying to take advantage, no feeling of weird, sometimes like, oh, very touristic, I don't want people from outside to come. No, they were like happy to have people seeing their country, and I imagine like having a view of the country itself instead of having just all of the image that you get from outside of China.
And I think they are also like they really want to connect with people, like Europeans. Like we went in some restaurant, for example, at night with live music, and then, well, everyone was Chinese except the table where we were like 5 or 6 Europeans, and the singer of the band came to talk to us, and was speaking with us like for, I don't know, half an hour.
Yeah.
Even though like she was not like, her English was good but not like super fluent, but she kept trying, and she really wanted to know about us.
Yeah. They were just asking questions, and I think they even delayed the break because they wanted to continue talking with us instead of going back to singing. But yeah, everyone was like literally trying to know more, trying to just get to know about why were you there, or even if not random people asking you in the street about you, but they were just kind of like, oh, you're here. We had like this experience also, like when we were in the mountain.
The tourists.
There was a big high school trip from a Chinese high school.
Yeah.
And we were waiting in a line to get to some attraction, to an elevator. And when they saw us, all the children were like, oh, hi. They were like maybe like 10 years old. So they were like, they didn't know English almost at all. And then there was this guy that he knew a little bit more English, and he shouted like, welcome to China. So happy to see like not Chinese people being like in this place. And that was like really, it felt really nice to actually be welcoming, because you have like this experience, for example, in Japan, you know that everyone is quite tired of tourists because it's true that it's increasing in prices. So it was very nice to have this feeling of you're actually welcome in China and we want people to come.
Okay. But after this experience, what is your general opinion about that country? Or you feel that you didn't see enough, or you wanted to come back one day? I don't know. What is your feeling?
So I think I would really recommend going. I wouldn't mind going again and visiting some other places. I think there's plenty of things to know. Of course, like China is a huge country with a lot of big cities, rural areas, historical monuments, advanced technology. Like you have pretty much everything if you like to travel. And yeah, I mean, in general, I don't know, I was surprised by how everything is so smooth, like even if you are not Chinese, but it's quite easy to get around, like we said, with the apps or ask help for people from people. Everything feels like accessible, modern, advanced, but you also have like the other part, which is more like traditional and historical. So I think it's a very nice mix of both worlds, and yeah, for me it was like a very enriching experience. Also get to know like how the people live there.
Mm-hmm. And you, Alma?
I would really like to go back again. Something I missed this trip. I like to go to museums, but we didn't have the time to go to much museums. Also, everything is so big, so you have so many things to see, so many things that you want to do, and then in the end you end up with like so many things that you didn't got the chance to do.
Yeah.
But I would love to go back, and yes.
You're describing my weekend, but okay, in China.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just going to different cities also, because it is true that we've been most on South China. We didn't go to the north of China because...
but I think most of the population is in the south, you know?
Yeah,
like...
but we didn't go, for example, to Xi'an or Beijing, because in Beijing we went just to do a layover, like transfer flights. But we didn't actually saw Beijing. So something that it was also...
Did you saw a panda?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
We saw red pandas and giant pandas. Something that was shocking to me is the food itself varies a lot from city to city, because we were in different regions of China. So I know in the north they have a different food, and I'm a big foodie. Rafa is also a big foodie. So when we go to a country, we really like to experience like the real food from the place.
The general expectation is that they eat a lot of duck. It's true?
Not really. So it depends on the region. That's the thing. Because, for example, in Chengdu and Chongqing, which is more Sichuan, they eat a lot.
I'm surprised of your pronunciation, you know.
Thank you.
For me, it's even difficult to say chi, you know. Yeah. The president.
Eat a lot of spicy food. Like their food is like actually really spicy because they use a lot of spices. And then also the Sichuan pepper, which is numbing sensation. So when you eat the food and it's spicy, you stop feeling your tongue and your mouth. But then on Hunan, what's the other region? In Hunan, they didn't have almost any spicy food. It was not so spicy. It was more... it was more pork. Like... It was more vegetables. In Shanghai too, it was more... xiaolongbaos, I think it's called. In Shanghai, you also have like your own type of filled dumpling. So every region use the same ingredients in a way, but they use them in different preparations. They put more of one into the other. The spices that they use, it's different. So you can really feel a difference on the taste. And for example, you have Beijing duck and Nanjing duck, which is something we got to know because we went to Nanjing. And they have like a rivalry because everyone says that Nanjing duck is better if you're in Nanjing. If you're in Beijing, it will be Beijing duck. But they have like completely different ways of doing the same type of foods. And it's just based on which region you are. Also, something really shocking regarding food was they need the food to be extremely hot. Like they will not eat something if it's cold. Usually when you go to a restaurant, a lot of the place they will give you like a burner and you will have like the pot with like the food on it. So it's like really boiling thing. Yeah. So, and what we got to know from people is like they do the same in summer. Like even if it's hot outside, they will do it this way. They need it to be like hot. And they give you tea, and the tea that they give you, it's also really hot. So you need to, at least, maybe it's me, I don't like food to be really hot, but I needed to pour the tea, let it be there for 5 minutes, and then I could start drinking it because it was like so hot that I was burning my mouth.
Well, guys, I'm super happy to have you today here. I really invite you because I wanted to like put some kind of prejudice that we have of them into the table. Because I think in the future we have like a new power in the world, and it can cause some kind of like bellic even conflicts, you know. So it's good like that if we have the opportunity, and I don't know, the Europeans who are listening to us, who has the opportunity to see with your eyes this country, go there to visit, not in terms to idealize like or glorify the country, but in terms to don't have like this white and black perspective that can make us think that we are like the good ones, they are the bad ones, and can give us like some kind of like belly conflict in the future, you know.
Yep. I would really encourage people to go to China. It's a very nice country to visit, and you have like so many differences. Like you can see even from the architecture, like really big buildings, like modern buildings mixed with like traditional. You can find like a temple in the middle of a skyscraper type of city. In the metro you have like very futuristic things, and then more like maybe feeling like you're living in 1990. So it's like a very mix of feelings in the city itself. And I would encourage everyone to go, because what you see outside, it's not what you can really see and feel when you visit China itself.
Okay, thank you very much. With that quotation, I don't have nothing more to say. Thank you, and thank you to if you arrived to here and to see us today. And I hope you are going to have a good day or evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow.